Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here, and today I'm at BrickCon in Bellevue, Washington, and I'm in the middle of the Great Ball Contraption layout. I've got one of the builders of the layout that you'll recognize from some of our past videos. If you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll dive on in.
Sure, thanks Josh. I'm Neil, one of the GBC builders out of Canada. We got 12 builders here this year, a total of 44 modules, so we're doing quite well. We've got a good spread of builders from all over the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
So looking at the modules we've got a few new things this year, a few sort of stalwarts of many years. So this very first one is by a local builder, a young guy called Brendan. So this is a module running on an EV3 with a color sorter. So the module behind it is sorting the balls into white and orange and bypassing the orange ones, so only the white ones show up on the front of the module. A nice little mechanism, something fun for people to see. So then we're into Kevin Mitchum's modules. So a number of these are old stalwarts. The banana module, you'll see a number of these particular modules around. They're a large hopper with a simple conveyor, but they also have a multiple speed function, so they're really good for us in these shows, just to give a little bit of variation and tune things. That's flowing into Kevin's side stepper, so that's flowing up and into the hopper for the train layout. So we got a couple of rotating vertical lifts that go into the hopper for Kevin's train, and as it runs through, the train's picking up in two locations with a simple drive-through and dump mechanism. So nice and easy. Always a crowd pleaser to get the train in here.
I love the decorative train cars here and kind of the different theming on some of these.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the great things about having the trains in there, is getting that extra little bit of decoration into the modules. So the train is dumping out into a big wheel module, and then once that goes over, that's going into a ball pump, and then into a run of shared power modules. So ball pump feeds into a little half-pipe sweeper that's been around for a while. A lot of Kevin's modules have got a lot of mileage in them, so they're generally reliable. A little bit of maintenance ongoing with them. And that feeds into the little river stepper module up to one of Kevin's favorites here. This is the blue baller, which is using the Zamospheres in there, that it filters those blue balls out while keeping the rest of the GBC balls flowing through and into the rest of the layout. Up and over the train there, we're using the very nice and reliable conveyor system, using the horizontal lift arms. A lot of us really like this because it's just so dependable as a mechanism to lift up and over. Going over there, we're into a series of steppers. So these are steppers with a particularly low lift point on them, because the mechanism is offset to the sides. And then into Kevin's build of the BrickSlopes GBC module for this year. So it's one of the modules I designed for BrickSlopes. It's been running nicely this weekend, which is good. Another one of these large hopper lift modules. And now we're into Alex Popil's build section. So we've got his 3 seesaw module that lifts up and into a basic chain and conveyor module. Another old school push arm. So this is we've got a number of different push arms running this weekend, from the BrickSlopes one, which is the newest evolution. Alex's there is one of the older style. and that's feeding into his glittering wheel. An old stalwart, but always a crowd favorite. The wheel sitting in there, dragging balls round, and that is feeding into the end of Alex's module, which is a final one of these large capacity conveyor lifts. And then we're into a set of modules by Jeff Strong. You'll recognize this first one, very much a crowd favorite in a number of shows in the Pacific Northwest, Kraken Attacking. So this is one Jeff has been working on for a number of years, and show after show is improving its reliability, fixing all those little bits and pieces that have made it problematic for him, and now it's a great reliable showpiece. So props to Jeff for working the problem and getting there. So now he's moved on to a new challenge for this year, for something for him to work on. So it starts off with a simple wheel lift, but then we're into this exciting slide corkscrew that we've got. This one's all about timing of picking the ball up at the bottom and exiting it at the top, so it can run down the ramp system. So very visually stunning, relatively simple module, and a lot of people will look at the slides and go, oh yeah, I've got those, because they're on the LEGO store pick-a-brick wall right now. So it's great for the crowd to see things built with things that they know that they have. All right, so that's running into a module built by two of our newest attendees. So this is a father and son combo that are first time here at BrickCon. So that a number of people will have seen this module before, the banana gear rotating lift. But it's always great to see young blood coming into the GBC community, because these guys are the folks that are going to replace the rest of us eventually, and keep you guys in the video business. But yeah, so really good to see really young people coming into the community and building things, and starting off as the best way is building somebody else's design, learning about GBC, and I don't think it'll be too long before they start doing their own designs.
Got a little backup over here.
Backup, yeah. Give it a little bit of human interference. Right, moving on. We're moving on from these guys. I just want to get their names, so I make sure that I mention it. So the new folks, that's Brian and Nathan Hickey. So new to BrickCon. Put the card back on the front there. So we're now into a series of modules by Rick Vogt. So Rick's got a couple of pusher-upper modules with a Brick World module in the middle. Probably some of the more exciting things at the back here is Rick's splat gear. I don't even know what you'd call it. It's just art. But yeah, he's been working these various shapes of splat gears and motorizing them. So it's always nice to have a little bit of art on display. Same with the dinosaurs and the bigger version splat gear there. And then the next thing that Rick has built, this white build, this didn't exist yesterday. So Rick literally built this on site yesterday and today, and built the whole thing from scratch with a whole bunch of parts he had elsewhere. So it's another push-arm module, taking a lot of the lessons from the other modules that are out there. So yeah, props to Rick for scratch building something on site. And so we're feeding down into the next module here, this spiral lift and spiral module. So this is Steve Putz. You'll have seen this in a few modules here in the Pacific Northwest. This one runs on an EV3 system, so he actually has the agitator control running on the EV3, so that every so often it will run backwards for a second and then forwards again, just to keep that agitation going. And if there is a jam, that it'll only jam for a small period before it auto clears, and then the software runs it after that. So Steve is feeding into the big beast in the room, This is Diego's Tron Stepper. So we always love Diego when he turns up with a build. It's always big. It's always brilliant. You'll remember Diego from GBC Tower and GBC Tower 2. These nice, big, very visually stunning modules. And this year, Tron Stepper has elevated the game in terms of build and visual presence. So you'll see what he has is an array of 50 stepper modules in four layers, connected with a series of vertical conveyors, and then they all feed up eventually through all these stepper modules up to the top, and then they start flowing down through this lovely lit tube. So a number of features in this is you'll notice on the front we've got the two Tron bikes. So those two Tron bikes are running. We've obviously got the Flynn bike and the Rinsler bike, obviously color-coded, lit up, and they move, you know. That's great. Didn't need to do it, but it's brilliant. The other feature that we've got down here is Diego's also built a bypass. So if we turn it the other way, it'll bypass, and rather than outputting to the next module, we'll recirculate and give us a little bit of downstream breathing space. But we'll put it back into forward flow module. So yeah, and a great addition here. Very much a crowd pleaser. We've seen a lot of folks coming over and saying, "Oh, look at this, Tron Steppers, isn't that nice?" And that's what we want. We're all here to just entertain the crowd, show off what we've got, and get that reaction. Okay.
No, it looks incredible, yeah, and the lights add so much to it.
Yeah, and there's quite a lot of control infrastructure at the back here. So if John can get a good look at this, so we got a couple of the Technic control panels, but most of this is feeding in from this little computer at the end, which is running on a Raspberry Pi behind the screen there, which Diego wrote all of the software to run this. You know, it's a bespoke creation. It's a fully bespoke piece of software to get it to run. Okay, moving on to Diego is my section. So starting off with a recolored Brickworld 2024 module. You guys recognize that one in the coloring. I got the sticker on now, so we're fully there for our friends at Beyond the Brick.
The branding is in place.
Branding is important, yep. And we're here to support you. It's there. That's feeding into my Mario Kart Rainbow Road. You'll have seen this one in Salt Lake City. I had a couple of weeks, took it away, fixed all the problems where it was leaking. So it's a little more reliable now, a lot less leaky, which is what we like. And again, another crowd pleaser. The great thing is that tonight when we run our dark hours, both Diego and my Mario Kart will be running in the dark, lit up. We both have recirculation mode, so we can run independently of the loop. So hopefully you guys are around, you can get some video of that. Yeah. And that's feeding into the Brick Fair Virginia module, another nice, reliable, simple module that is great for regulating flow that we've found. And that's flowing into a series of my modules that you guys have seen before. Carrot Patch, which is very popular with a lot of the kids. It's a little macabre when you start thinking about it, because it is carrots fending off rabbits with other carrots. But don't read in too much of that. And obviously the most Canadian of builds here, Slapshot, my tribute to hockey, Canada's finest sport. And so we've got that again, another crowd pleaser that sits and runs. I like it because I found a use for those hockey pieces from the early 2000s. Otherwise, they'd just be sitting in a drawer in the Lego room, accruing dust. And then the final part of my section is what I call Workshop Wonderland. So it starts off with a brick slopes module from 22. This is my extended version. Then we've got a dozer lift from Nonsense Wars, another great module that the kids like, because everybody likes dozers and buckets, and so it's a crowd pleaser. That feeds into last year's Brick World wheel module. In fact, no, not last year, year before. That's a 22. Again, great stable modules. If anybody's thinking about building a GBC module, I would heartily recommend that one. It's great, doesn't need too many Technic pieces, and looks brilliant. Then we're into a drum module. So this is a 4-part drum that feeds in and lifts over the course of the module. So that's the end of my stuff. We're into a short section from Don Sinclair, a local builder here in the Pacific Northwest. So he's got a drum module that he's using to lift up and into the classic Brick World tipper module. Again, another one to start with. These things are great, easy to build. And then into Brick World's ball pump. From there, we're feeding into a series of builds from John Sherman. So everybody knows John for his very stylish builds. The first is the three wheel build. Again, very nice and neat. That gets us a whole bunch of elevation, and that's feeding into a series of ramps that we've got going on. And if you can hear the cheering in the background, I think we've just hit. We must have just hit 10,000 balls through the loop right there. So that's a good achievement, and it's not even lunchtime Saturday, so we're easily going to hit 20,000 for the weekend. So that's running down to the front. So here we've got a bunch of John's modules. So we've got a handoff module that very nice and clean, super reliable. This thing's been going great, and we love to see that. Then we've got a pair of modules called Rat Stamper and Rat Stamper XL that John has built. Again, you'll recognize John's bright, colorful color scheme, and very mechanically exciting, but visually stunning. And so these guys are running, and they're feeding into John's ball counter, which has just gone over the 10,000 ball mark.
You can see that ball there at the bottom.
Yep, and notice the gaps above it to say that we've hit that. So it'll be a while before we get another big milestone like that. Probably sometime at the rate we're going, we might make it before the end of today, probably tomorrow morning. And then we're getting into John's macaroni stair. This one is always a great visually stunning module. I know I've said myself I want to build one of my own, and I know a bunch of people who also do, because they look great, they work well, and that's the sort of thing we want for a GBC. And then we finish up from the macaroni stair. We're into the up and over for our entrance. This is another of John's builds. A nice simple. You'll notice the color scheme here, very BrickCon, and so it's always good to have a little bit of local branding for the shows. And that completes our loop. 44 modules, 12 builders. Total time for the loop right now is about 14 minutes, 4 of which is in Diego's tower. So we did some timing last night to make sure that we could understand how long that takes, because if people are watching it, we want to tell them you're going to be here for 4 or 5 minutes. But yeah, it's been running pretty well as a loop today, and as all loops do, they'll progressively get a little more stable over the course of the day.
Yeah, fantastic work here. So there's so many great modules. If someone watching this wants to get involved with Great Ball Contraption at their local LEGO convention, what are your best resources kind of online, and where should people check that out to find more info?
So a few things. John's showing my information card, so greatballcontraption.com, greatballpit.com is a website. The Great Ball Pit also has a Discord server that the majority of the GBC builders that we all know and love across the world are part of, and exchanging ideas and videos. But yeah, a lot of times reach out to your local lug or even the convention that you see them at. You send a message to the convention and the people who run it, they will connect you to GBC builders. We're always happy to have more and more builders and provide advice and get more people through, because the more people we have building, the bigger we can get.
Perfect. Sounds good. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.